Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to Monster Taming Newsletters, the segment on this channel where I read out Monster Taming Newsletters for you guys so you don't have to. Now, today we have Grimmlins, Kindred Fates, and Mythren to cover, and I'll leave time stamps in the description for all games so you guys know what's going on. So, for Kindred Fates, they have some information regarding the combat arenas, latest updates, some single-player stuff, etc. Mythren, we got a new Mythren, and for Grimmlins, which we're about to discuss now, we have a lot of AI stuff and a lot of updates to the combat system, stuff like that. So, like I said, timestamps in the description. We're going to start with Grimmlins Tale now. Update number 18, Massive AI and Combat Update. Community Update number 18, Grimmlins Tale Trainer AI Update, November 5th, 2021. Fancy new AI update. Hello everyone, I've been hard at work on Grimmlins Tale, and I have a new update for you. My goal recently has been to get combat feeling nice at its base. Part of what I needed for that was a slow pace and complexity of the combat down, which I've done some amount of, but what I also needed was for the Grimmlins Tale Trainer AI to be far better than it used to be. Let's take a look at some of the stuff I've had and break it down. So this is some of the old AI right here. Here's a video of a battle just for a reminder of how Grimmlins Tale's combat looks and works. The enemy trainer was a purple-black shade character, and their gremlins were Howlhuff, Go-Build, and Lomball, highlighted with red outlines around them. At the beginning of the fight, I used slow-mo cooldown on my player, and then activated and aimed a bunch of my gremlins cooldown in peace. Once that ended, hell broke loose with the gremlins in the middle while the enemy trainer stayed on the outskirts. A lot of healing was done from both cooldowns, and gremlage and form of life status effect caused abundant that makes enemy gremlins heal me and my gremlins in an AoE. As a reminder, the goal of Grimmlins battle is to defeat the enemy trainer, but knocking out enemy gremlins will temporarily leave them unable to fight, so going after gremlins or trainers could both be a viable strategy. As we can see in this video, when the enemy trainer dodges and weaves a bit, he doesn't get stuck on the walls or hug them too much. A previous issue with the AI that I had to rewrite recently was the old trainer AI system that always hugged the wall and would oftentimes get stuck in corners as well. This one will abandon the wall when there's no way out and doesn't hug the walls too much. It runs much more like an actual player would. The trainer's AI also rarely orders his gremlins effectively in the past, so I broke things down to strategies and gave myself tons of trainer AI behavior and gremlin order customizations so that I can make the AI an actual challenge to beat and give the battles more varied gameplay for Grimmlins Tale. I'll go deeper into this later. The 3 core combat strategies. Number 1, Bruiser Deathball. In executing a Bruiser Deathball strategy, a trainer will keep their gremlins near them, healing themselves and oftentimes dealing physical damage to anything that comes close. The trainer will then move that deathball of their tanky gremlin towards their enemy in hopes of causing a big fight once they reach the enemy team and or trainer, of which they will probably win because it's a close-up fight. Hopefully the enemy gremlin will mostly all faint in this case, and the enemy will be left helpless or would die in the brawl itself. This strategy is meant to be strong against Assassinate trainer strategy. In this video here, trainer AI and all of their gremlins were set to attack by me or my gremlins, so we'll check this out too. Just gonna skip the slow-mo for a sec. And we can see that towards the beginning of the battle, the enemy trainer AI was actually wailing on my gremlin and canceled one out with one of its cooldowns during the slow-mo. This almost worked as the enemy completely attritioned my gremlins in the death ball and almost knocked me out. But I kited for long enough for my gremlinage to get back up, and I was able to heal and knock them out. Assassinate Trainer. The Assassinate Trainer strategy, the enemy trainer wants to ignore the enemy gremlins in strategy and focus. Basically, this strategy, to sum it up quickly for you guys, this is someone who wants to go straight after the enemy trainer and try to go through all of their gremlins that they're probably using as shields. Yeah, so you can see they're ignoring the enemy gremlins completely. Sometimes it means that all their gremlins will only run at a target your trainer might like. In this video, trainer AI and all gremlins told to attack me often. Yeah, so same sort of setup here. Sometimes it means a trainer will run away while a select few assassins on the team are ordered to go after the enemy at all costs. It can be quite varied, but the idea is that they'll be fast, high damage gremlins doing the assassinating, and they'll be too fast for the ranged to poke to amount to stop your gremlins. This strategy is meant to be weak to the bruiser death ball strategy, because when your assassins get to the enemy trainer, big tanks with high health pools and damage will be there to guard them and knock the assassins out. That makes sense. Then you got ranged poke. To pull off the ranged poke strategy, a trainer's gremlins will do a mix of dealing range damage to both enemy gremlins and enemy trainers if they are open. The idea is while a death ball slowly moves towards you, they will take enough damage from your gremlins doing ranged damage and kiting that they'll take down an enemy gremlin or a trainer before you're running, and potentially somewhat defenseless trainer gets taken out. In this way, it's designed to be strong against a bruiser death ball, especially since a lot of bruisers will have lower resistance to take hits from usually magic-based range attacks. Because of this, the ranged poke, so basically it's Teemo. If you've ever played League of Legends, you can just like run away and just keep like spamming attacks while they're like too slow to catch you. So that kind of makes sense. And then strategies are loose. As you can tell from all examples, it's not always clear what's going on, and sometimes you or the enemy AI will hybridize a strategy and will not always 100% stick to the script, and sometimes that's the best way to win. Here's a video of me implementing a hybridized assassinating and bruiser strategy. I almost get the entire team of the enemy aggroed onto fighting my fully evolved Gremlage, who takes down 2 of the enemy gremlins by himself as the bruiser of the team. Meanwhile, my Pilenti and Grandpuff gradually chase down and defeat the enemy trainer as the assassins of the team. The enemy trainer was so occupied that it only ran away and put no pressure on my trainer, so I could focus on ordering gremlins around and using cooldowns. And then the rest of this is just kind of issues and missing things. This is just like stuff going over like improvements that they're trying to make, and like sort of AI mistakes they're trying to fix, stuff like that. And then you got like all the different knobs and dials as he describes them, basically saying like, hey, these are all the different combinations of stuff that you have to think about, and this is how I kind of do it. So the TLDR of this is what I'm trying to say is that this shows 2 of 20 reactions that can be set up for different AI. That means I can vary the trainer's strategy quite a bit per battle. Basically, the idea is that the AI is very has a lot of depth to it, so that's definitely good. Next, we're going to move on to Kindred Fates, the community newsletter for November 5th, 2021. Combat Arena Alpha. We're continuing to plug away at the bug fixing and cleanup stage of the single player side of the game, and getting a lot more done over there. However, we've begun to turn our focus back to the combat arena as well. Since we've been making a lot of changes to other parts of the game, we're checking that everything in the combat arena is still running smoothly. We've made a ton of changes to the NPC AI that will affect the practice room, implemented impactful and long requested balancing changes to existing kinfolk, added several new abilities, and made optimizations that will allow the game to run more smoothly. we can't wait for you to see everything that we've been working on. Single player. The single player side of things is like the juicy stuff for me. Our first in-game dungeon is almost complete. It's finally playable all the way through and just has some bug fixes and polish remaining. Worked on puzzles in the dungeons, including some camera fixes for one of them. Our Kinfolk AI has seen a lot of improvement, making a big impact on immersion. Creating a system that allows NPCs to roam around the world when the player is far away. Upgraded NPC predictive aiming for abilities. Changed NPC behaviors, how they react to the player. They now feel more natural in an open world setting. Worked to allow for more degrees of freedom and movement for the AI, which has helped us improve how they aim in their battles. Updated and improved several NPC behavior trees. Made additional improvements to kinfolk spawners, added logic for NPCs to shout and communicate to the player in the open world. In the future, these messages may dynamically change to reflect an NPC's personality. We've made a ton of general improvements and additions to our single-player game, including balance changes and some new VFX. Added fall damage, improved text and fonts, change Auburn's camera so it's easier to attack while in tall grass, improved visuals for a series of items. The basic aiming reticle is now only displayed on kinfolk that have a ranged base attack. Animated several single-player set pieces. Adjusted how damage scales from 1 to 100. Damage scaling at 50 should be unchanged. Added many new shrine locations to the overworld, created new VFX that occurs when interacting with a shrine, improved the VFX of several single-player abilities, made many modifications to kinfolk attacks in the single player, made balance changes to the first single-player boss fight, added several new hand-placed kinfolk, as well as many new kinfolk spawners all over the world, updated the dialogue of several NPCs, improved lighting of all times of day and unified all weather condition visuals, added character portraits and expressions to all remaining currently implemented conversations, added new animations for Restless Flames. Since you haven't seen them in a while, we'd like to show you the current VFX, so we're going to see that in a second after we read through this. Actually, you know what? We'll show it now. That gives you kind of an idea there. One of the members of our terrain team had left on a short break, but they're back in action now. Fixed colliders inside multiple buildings, polished up the river floors so they're not too deep and feel more natural. Fixed graphics issue, causing terrain textures to flicker as you walked by them, especially on mountains. Create a new point of interest. Worked on improving our in-game mountains by adding foothills and rock erosion. We're still working on the standard animations for 2 new kinfolk, one being Avion. Please enjoy this picture of the adorable sleepy Avion loaf. On the technical side of things, we were able to track down and fix a lot of bugs with performance issues this sprint, fix many visual bugs, fix wobbling behavior. I'm not going to go too much into bugs. I don't want to bore you guys with like bug fixes. And then they were just talking about their contest, so we have a new contest underway. The emote contest for our official Discord server will end on November 15th. Make sure to join for details. We'd like to give a shout out to the Kindred Fates tournament server who are organizing a community tournament in the Combat Arena Alpha. The tournament will take place on December 4th in celebration of the Alpha's anniversary. For signups, join their Discord server. This is not an official tournament, blah, blah, blah. Cool. So next we have Mythren, and this is a pretty short newsletter. So November 2021, they do theirs monthly. Kindred Fates is bi-weekly, and I'm not 100% sure the frequency in which the Grimmlins devs do there. I just think it's like when they've done something big and substantial, they'll do it. Like they always have news every week, but yeah. Anyway, so Ice to meet ya. Meet the newest introduction to the cast of Mythren. Scowl has bonded to the water element, and his harsh flame and anger has died down and frosted into a cheery personality. But don't let that fool you. Cross the Scowl's line, cross the line with Scowl's ice evolution, and you might see that cold can burn more than heat. Then you got Scowl's ice form. The frosty evolution will make use of ice-based attacks instead of fire-based movement, which makes sense. Progress. Zane has been continuing to note bugs, suggestions, and tweaks based on feedback. He's also been solving ways to speed up the VS levels and making them more intuitive to play given current restrictions to the unique to the VS. John has been wrapping up work on the vertical slice by fixing final bugs, and we have noted added suggestions and tweaks that have come from internal playtests. He's also gone quite a bit into project management and will set up a workflow that will help facilitate more stable project moving forward. Most notably, we're going to automate a lot of our more menial tasks and establish more integration between our current management software and our team members. This is to help the Combat Alpha come out as smoothly as possible. Finally, plushie production has finally started. It will be still some time before they're sent out. We will keep you guys updated. That's sweet. I can't wait for that to come in. Aiden's been doing QA work for the demo and helping John updating project workflow. Drake has started the final iterations of our unannounced Mythren after meeting with John and Zane to gather feedback. Micah has made sounds for Raccoon and Darkened Footsteps. Also, he created a Darken Cry alert and seeking to help the player be aware of Darken if they are about to chase them or not. They're located on the side of the player. We do have plans to implement a visual way for deaf players as well. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's awesome. Nice. Community. We don't have much in terms of community. And that's pretty much it. So it's a pretty short one, but we got a new Mythren, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So Grimmlins, big combat stuff. Kindred Fates, lots of single player stuff being worked on right now. And Mythren, new, like we said, new evolution. So yeah, that was pretty much it for Monster Taming Newsletters. Please let me know in the comments if you guys do enjoy this segment. I don't do it every week because sometimes there's not a lot of newsletters. Like if there's just one, I'm not going to do a whole video. But if you guys do enjoy this, if you're like me and would prefer someone else read stuff to you, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already to keep up to date on the genre, and share this video around, because why not? Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.